Breaking today, Buckingham Palace have slammed the Prince Harry and Meghan Markle Sussex drama. But I can tell you King Charles is still open to a meeting with Archie and Lily, even though it looks like they may only fly into the country for 24 hours. So I've got to tell you something, right? Trust me when I tell you that Prince Harry is not a well man. This is a man totally overwhelmed by the wacky-backy. Even his holiday in Portugal is designed to go to a place where you can smoke the wacky-backy legally. By the way, Harry, you can't do it in this country, so I'm quite surprised he wants to come back. But obviously, a toxic combination of psychedelic drugs too, because nothing else can explain the fact that he had managed to win over the mainstream media. I mean, trust me, in the independent media, we know what this guy is about. And we're never going to trust him again. But he had won over the mainstream media only to blow the whole thing up. And now trying to make everyone forget, oh no, I didn't blow the whole thing up. We're going back to our plans. It's nuts because he is nuts. So here's the Propaganda People magazine. You know they are the house magazine for Harry and Meghan, who say he may still fly Archie and Lily to the UK for one day. Seriously, no one wants this, Harry. What are you doing? And this was the on-the-record statement released. They said that the Duke of Sussex, as he has a total breakdown in Portugal, is reviewing every available opportunity to facilitate a way for his children to visit his home country safely. Yes, it's his home country. The statement said Prince Harry's program in the United Kingdom includes both public and private engagements across the country. Safe accommodation is only one element of an effective protective security plan because risk follows the person, not the place. Thank you for the lesson, Harry. The issue has never been accommodation. The issue is whether appropriate and proportionate protective security is being provided throughout the entirety of the visit. So let me just pause for one moment to tell you what Prince Harry is doing there is slamming his father. Yet again, slamming King Charles yet again publicly. This is so mortifying. And I am so desperate for the king to listen to Queen Camilla and Prince William and just put his foot down and say, do you know what? You're not even getting the palace. Do you know what? You're not getting to stay in Buckingham Palace because you have shamed this country, shamed the British royal family. You're not even getting the palace. But at the moment, he's not doing that. I'll tell you why he is slamming his father publicly, because what he's saying is, oh, the issue's never been accommodation, so it's not good enough. It's not good enough that the king is going to give us Buckingham Palace. We need more. We need him to overrule a government decision, because then we come, and I apologise because I know it's technical and dull, but we come to the fact that there's RAVEC, which is this committee which has decided that there is no threat to Harry. And so on the record, Harry goes on, the independent risk management board that RAVEC itself decided was necessary last November has still not taken place. It is therefore difficult to understand how the proportionality of the current arrangements can credibly be maintained without that independent assessment. I'll tell you why, Harry, because they look at every risk that comes in, every threat that comes in. And your attempt, mate, to manufacture a risk by trying to, and I exposed this at the time, and so did some other wonderful members of the royal community online, despite the fact that your only threat that you can point to is a member of the Sussex squad. And yes, they are crazy, and I've been warning how crazy they are for a long time, but they certainly ain't trying to kill you. You know, they might be trying to hurt me. They're not trying to hurt you, Harry, okay? And that is the only credible threat that you have been able to provide evidence of, and it's not a threat at all. So the fact is, they don't need to call a meeting. They are assessing these threats all the time for loads of high-profile individuals all the time. And if there was any threat to you, then they would provide the security at the appropriate time. Now, Meghan Markle, speaking of appropriate time, believes that this moment is a great time to sell her new honey. Don't buy it, by the way. Sounds awful. Lavender honey sourced from Spain. And this is the whole problem, isn't it? Because Meghan sees an opportunity in everything. all of the drama of this trip has suited her because every time she sees more headlines, she thinks, I'm going to tailor a was never mail out. It's weird. And this is the problem. And this is why none of this half in, half out Megxit is ever going to work. And William knows it. So Buckingham Palace has briefed to Rebecca English, remember she is the head of the Royal Rota, works at the Daily Mail, that Prince Harry now has a mountain to climb to fix his PR own goal as the security row overshadows the UK trip. No one knows who is coming. Palace accommodation offer remains not accepted and patience is pushed to its limits by tiresome psychodrama. Now, what's interesting about this, of course, is this is the so-called men in grey suits. So you're talking about Clive Alderton, the King's private secretary. You're talking about Tobin Andre, the King's head of communication, briefing directly to Rebecca English at the Daily Mail, who Prince Harry has taken to court in this case against the Mail, in which we may find a ruling very, very soon. So that is going to infuriate Prince Harry, is what I'm telling you. And English writes, if some are to be believed, the King is offering you Buckingham Palace. You tell him yes or no. And again, of course, I do feel that there is a massive issue with the King's weakness on this, but I also feel there is an even bigger issue with the absolute lack of class that is ever exhibited by the Sussexes. English goes on. While it is impossible to reverse the hurt of the past, Charles is pragmatic and is not going to reject an overture to meet his grandchildren discreetly for the sake of family harmony. But recent events making it increasingly hard even to do that. Well, it's a huge mistake, Charles. It is a huge mistake, Your Majesty. And I know there is a personal cost. But remember, sometimes the late Queen Elizabeth II had to do things she really didn't want to at great personal cost. For example, thrusting her favourite son, Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, out of formal royal duties. Unfortunately, the cost that you might have to shoulder in order to protect the monarchy is not seeing your grandchildren until they are older and able to travel independently.
Prince Harry has never shied away from discussing difficult subjects. In his memoir Spare and in interviews promoting the book, he spoke candidly about grief, mental health, and his past experiences with drugs. Harry acknowledged using cannabis, trying cocaine when he was younger, and later participating in psychedelic experiences, which he said helped him process the trauma of losing his mother, Princess Diana. Those admissions immediately became global headlines. Supporters praised his openness. Critics questioned whether such personal revelations were appropriate for a senior member of the royal family. The conversation quickly expanded beyond Harry's personal story. Many began asking what these disclosures meant for his relationship with King Charles, Prince William, and the monarchy itself. Although Buckingham Palace did not publicly respond to Harry's specific comments, royal commentators suggested the revelations added another layer to an already strained family relationship. At the same time, Harry maintained that his goal was not to embarrass his family but to explain his own experiences. This difference in perspective has become a defining feature of the royal debate. One side argues that transparency can encourage honest conversations about mental health. The other believes private family matters should remain private. As Harry and Meghan built a new life outside the monarchy, every interview and every public appearance was viewed through that same lens. Were they simply telling their story? Or were they continuing a public disagreement with the institution they left behind? Those questions remain central to how many people view the Sussexes today.
And I'm sorry to repeat it, and I will just do so very quickly, but Taylor Swift was given security on one occasion after a genuine terror threat on her series of concerts, the Eras Tour, and after a terrible terror attack in Southampton in the United Kingdom, where Axel Rudakabana stabbed 3 young girls to death at a Taylor Swift dance class. Okay? That's a real threat. The upshot, according to English, she says no one is any the wiser and the palace team is frantically scratching their heads. Those in royal circles believe the debacle has turned what could have been positive PR for the Sussexes into a disaster before they even set foot in the country. And again, I just stress, this is not good for the British royal family. The British royal family is better than this. The British royal family organises its affairs weeks and months in advance. The British royal family does not need to bow down to its two most hated members. Or let's just say former members now, because Harry may be a royal by blood, but I don't think any of us consider Meghan part of that family. Tom Sykes, who has been very angry with the fact that he took the Sussex spin for granted, has now reported on this U-turn, with the Sussexes saying they are still coming to the UK. But I would argue it is also insanity treating Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's team as if they are anything other than liars. And the proof has been in the pudding since the Oprah Winfrey interview. But I just wish people would know my experience a little bit more, because Harry and Meghan have been lying to me since 2018. And it doesn't matter which PR is representing them. It doesn't matter if they're relying on a courtier from the royal family to spread those lies. The lies are all there. They lied about everything to do with their time within the royal family, even when they were within the royal family. They lied about the truth of Archie's birth, even when they were within the royal family. And so it sickens me to see members of the royal rota bend down to these liars and repeat lies in mainstream publications that used to be trusted. And as I say, without wanting to, this is not personal. It's not about me. It's about the independent media. It's why, unfortunately, you can no longer trust what the Daily Mail tells you. They are corrupted because they're in this legal battle with Harry. They're scared of Harry. At the same time, they hate Harry. One of their reporters had a previous sexual relationship with Harry. Another one, Harry has tried to ruin their life. You can't trust what is coming from these newspapers, but you have to be able to trust individuals who have seen through their crap for many, many years. Robert Jobson has done a good job, actually, on his Substack, writing of King Charles. Does he really think this was ever going to happen? Angela Levin is our royal mastermind, but she is also Prince Harry's biographer. She spent a huge amount of time with him in the past. And Angela, this guy has been on a descent into madness for a very long time. But he has now just lost the plot altogether. Crying in Portugal, sobbing. He's an embarrassment. This is a guy full of life's privileges who should be trying to be a father to those two children who I think are going to be left incredibly messed up as a result of all of this. What's really going on here in your view?
Well, I find two things really. I think one of the things that actually changes Harry from going somewhere to absolutely not going somewhere, and he won't take the children somewhere, is that Meghan has had a screaming shout at him because she controls him like a puppet. And when she's angry with him, she just tears him to pieces. We've heard all that about the staff when she was working with the royals, and that some of them are still not well yet. It's absolutely amazing. And I think that this is her idea of keeping him absolutely there with her. And the reason she wants to do that is she wants to be, one, almost in the public all the time. She doesn't want to come to London. She hates it. She's going to be too scared because it's the one thing she can't handle with really smart, rich, royal people. It makes her very awkward. If you watch the pictures of her face, she never knows quite where to go or, moving her arms. And I think that is probably what happened because she's probably getting really scared. And she does come, she's not coming. We've heard that so many times, it's boring that she keeps changing her mind. But the other thing is that she wants another thing that will make her happy. You see, he'll do anything to make her happy, to please her, because he's desperate to do that. Because she says he's not got enough money and he's not this and he's not that. So if he can get this to actually take them all and to do whatever they want, wherever, he will be happy. He will have satisfied her, but she won't let him satisfy her. She's one of those women. There's certain titles for it, but I'm not a doctor, so I won't say anything about that. But she wants the next thing that she wants to be done, and the next thing. She's just full of things that she wants and she's not satisfied with. But this one is the really big one because Harry does want to see his father. Now, any sensible man would know that he wouldn't let his wife and his children to attack his father. He said he wanted desperately to see him. But if any normal people, whether they've got their wife and the children with them or not, they just say, this is not right, this is upsetting him, I won't do it. He can't do that. He can't do anything. I don't know whether the drugs have an effect or not, but the thing is that he is absolutely crumbled up by Meghan. And this is the problem, that she will destroy everything. She wanted to destroy everything when they left the royal family, all the people. She said that, the nastiness, and she was nearly dying and all this stuff, nonsense. She is a very, very unpleasant, I could use a bigger word. And that's, I think, why Harry's got it so badly. And he's just jittering because he can't get it right. And I think the other thing is, because he is actually obviously not very well at the moment, to let him bring over the two children and go round with them without Meghan. First of all, they're going to be awake all day the night before, and then they're going to come out and they're not actually going to fall into the arms of the king. It's very difficult for small children to know somebody they've never seen, who they've been told that is very important. Mummy and Daddy met this very important grandpa, and make it very difficult for him. So he would have to take nannies, and who's going to pay for them as well as the children? I mean, it is the most biggest nonsense. And when Harry says they'll just come for a day, I mean, what a terrible day for small children. They're not ready to do all that in one day. It doesn't make any sense to me as a sort of woman and a mother. You can't do that with children.
No, exactly. Shipping them in and shipping them out in 24 hours. No, that is such a good point, Angela. It really is.
Recent headlines have once again linked Harry's earlier admissions to wider discussions about his public image and his relationship with the royal family. However, many of those headlines also include speculation about private conversations and family reactions that have never been officially confirmed. That's why it's important to distinguish between what Harry has said publicly and what others have inferred. One fact is clear: Harry's comments sparked worldwide discussion about grief, trauma, and mental health. Another is that his relationship with senior members of the royal family remains complicated. What isn't publicly confirmed is exactly how those two issues intersect behind closed palace doors. As the years pass, Harry continues to focus on charitable initiatives, the Invictus Games, and other projects alongside Meghan. Meanwhile, King Charles and Prince William continue carrying out their royal duties. Whether reconciliation eventually happens is still one of the biggest unanswered questions surrounding the modern monarchy. Until then, every interview, every appearance, and every headline will continue to generate intense public interest. Because when it comes to the royal family, the story is rarely just about one event. It's about trust, family, responsibility, and the challenge of balancing public duty with private life. What do you think? Did Prince Harry's openness about his past ultimately help the public understand him better? Or do you believe those revelations made reconciliation with the royal family more difficult? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more royal news and analysis. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.